Hello everybody. My name is Anushka, and I am trying to start this series of me doing one LeetCode daily every day, and it is practically just to keep myself motivated and also try to see if I have probably some career in building YouTube videos because I love studying, but I don't see myself going into a PhD career or a studying career like a career which demands me to just do research for 5 years straight. So I think this is a good way to keep myself still in touch with like that kind of environment where I'm like learning something, and I mean teaching something to someone, I think is probably the best way to learn. I mean, I'm pretend teaching here for sure, but yeah. So enough for the rambling, I guess. Let's go on with the actual objective. So I will try to keep doing lead code dailies for you guys, uh, more like myself. But yeah, um, I'll just try to go through the questions and see if I can explain them and come up with a good, easy way to solve them. So this question that I have here is the lead code daily of 15 January 2026. And let's just quickly go to the question. It says that you are given two integers, n and m, which and you're also given two integer arrays, h bars and v bars, and there are grids that have the kind of sizing n plus 2 and m plus 2 horizontal and vertical bars respectively. And so the question is demanding that you remove some of the bars from h bars and some of the bars from v bars in such a way that you can create a maximum area of a square shaped hole in the grid, right? So I am not sure if you can see, but they have given some examples here. So example one is going from this to the other image, and so let's just go through what they have said. And the inputs are, so n is equal to 1, m is equal to 1 is basically going to be m. So they had said that m plus 2. So we'll have m is 1 and 1 plus 2. So you have till 3 integers here, and similarly n plus 2, total 4 integers here. And h bar and v bar are actually the number of bars that you can remove. So the horizontal bars that you can remove are 2 and 3, and V bars, the vertical bars, you can remove only the second bar here. So doing this and finding the most optimal area or the largest area of square you can find is what we are going to look forward how to do. So I have drawn a small little thing over here to explain this question better. So the idea behind this question essentially is that let me just quickly go to a pencil size of 2. Yeah. So the idea behind this question is essentially that I want to be able to create the maximum or the largest area square possible, right? Yeah, essentially that. And so for that, let us first try by seeing what we can do to remove random squares, right? So let me just write my edge bars, I suppose some um, anything honestly. Let's take 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 maybe. I'm sorry for the extremely terrible writing. I'm just like doing this for the first time, so it's just I'm in Spain as such. So if this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and assume the other thing to be like 1, 2, 3 maybe, right? This is my V bar, right? Excuse my commas again, they do not look like commas, really, for sure. Yeah. So suppose this is my H bar and V bar that have been given to remove. Now let's just start on with the basics. So if if I remove one line and if I remove one horizontal and one vertical line essentially, so suppose I remove the first horizontal and first vertical line, you see that I would get a square of 2 by 2, right? Similarly, if I remove two horizontal lines and two vertical lines, you see I would get a square of 3 by 3, right? But an essential feature in this entire thing that I am telling you is that these both are right next to each other. So these are two consecutive horizontal lines and two consecutive vertical lines. But assuming that my horizontal and vertical lines are not consecutive, right? In that case, if I took, suppose, the first line and some random line here, and but I still kept, so I'll just change the color real quick for us to better understand this. So I will keep two consecutive horizontal lines but two random vertical lines. So these both would still intersect, suppose here and here and here and here, right? But we can clearly see that this will not form a square, and similarly this is again not forming a square. So the problem here, as clearly can be understood, is when I want a square of 3 by 3, I should have two consecutive vertical lines and two consecutive horizontal lines. Similarly, when I want a square of 2 by 2, I should have one vertical line and one horizontal line, right? So what do we do in this scenario? What we actually have to do is just take the minimum. So now if these both are not consecutive, then the minimum number of consecutive elements in H bar will be 1. And the maximum number of consecutive elements in H bar will be 1, and maximum number of consecutive elements in B bar will be 1. Will be 2, right? So we take the minimum of 2 and 1, which will give us 1. And if we want to find the area of the square, then you remember 1, if there are two ones, if there's one horizontal and one vertical, you get 2 by 2, 2 cross 2. And when we had two horizontal and two vertical, we had 3 cross 3. So when I know in this case that I have 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3, so my minimum number of consecutive elements is that of V bar because there are 3 consecutive elements in V bar. So if my number of consecutive elements are 3, what will be my area of square? It will be a 4 cross 4 square, which will give my area as 16. So I hope this kind of understanding is clear, and if it is, I would love to go on with the code. So let us define our variables for the problem. So one will be minimum consecutive h, which we take as 1, because in any case, I will still have my any two lines will always be crossing, so I'm always going to get a 2 by 2, right? So that's, I'm starting with a 1. I'm sorry for the display, yes. And let's take our minimum consecutive L to be equal to 1, 2. It is important that I sort the H bars and V bars because it is nowhere mentioned that H bars and V bar is sorted. And if they are not sorted, and suppose I have something that goes like 2, 3, or no, wait, it goes like 3, 2, and suppose, I want to say that it goes in such a way that it is not in some particular order, right? So then I will have to keep going through, and like it will be hard to check if they are consecutive numbers or not. So to avoid that complexity, let's just sort it. Why not? So we will sort our H bars and we will also sort our V bars. I'm hoping everyone's following until now. I'm sorry if I'm not a great explainer of questions, but yeah. And then I will have a counter variable, which I will explain why I am using later on. So now I go 1, 2, length of H bars, right? So now what I will be doing is trying to find the maximum number of consecutive elements that are present in H bar and maximum number of consecutive elements that is present in V bar for our first step, right? So for that, let's just go on with some code. So we can just check the previous element because I started with 1, so that it does not give an array out of index error. Yeah. Um, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry, screen is a little bit laggy. I think it is from the usage of a recorder. Yeah. As equal to h bars I minus 1. Yeah. Then we will kind of increase our counter by 1, and else we will just redefine our counter so that we can get the maximum that is present here, and min consecutive h is equal to max of min consecutive h and counter, right? So we will store this, and similarly you can just do whatever you want to do for the L part. So I'm just gonna copy paste that right here. I'm sorry, I think I'm a bit lazy when it comes to this, but the objective is kind of, I'm hoping, clear. There might be like a bunch of errors when I do this. I think it's V, not L. V bars, V bars. Okay, I have defined this as L, that's why I think I'm more confused. Make sure you really go back and make your counter 1 before redoing this entire thing, because then if your counter starts at some other unholy number, it will be very hard to kind of get the answer that you want. And now let's just do answer is minimum of min cons L and min consecutive H, sort of like this, comma. I hope I've changed everything. V bars, V bars, okay. And min consecutive H plus 1. I'll explain why plus 1. I have explained it once before, but because if you have 1, then you form a 2 cross 2 square. So, you know, going by that logic, if you have 3, then you'll form 4 cross 4 square. And yeah, just that. Return answer square. So this is probably the code, and let's just run through it, get into it, let's see if it works. Okay, good. So we do not have any errors yet, but until you press the submit button, do not believe that you don't have any errors. Well, okay, no, that's good. We do not have any errors. So yeah, that is pretty much the answer, and I am grateful you stuck around. I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you.